What's up, my friends? Welcome to another LiveTime with Alec. I'm Alec. Today, we're hitting a loan officer special edition on consistency. We hit last week was the leadership edition on consistency. Today, we're talking about what it means to be a loan officer because, man, how much have things changed due to COVID? It's all we talk about. It's all we're adapting to. And it seems like after even 12 months, we're still adapting to it. But consistency is king. We're going to talk about it through content creation, relationship building, all the stuff. Buckle up. Consistency. All right, my friends. So welcome to another, whatever this is, LiveTime. Talk about consistency. I want to paint the story first, the foundation of why this all matters. And we know it foundationally from what we've experienced in the past. So just stay with me for a little bit of an intro and we'll buckle up. First, the only way to build trust in the world is through consistency. I'm dead serious right now. You can get some level of trust from a trusted referral source. So someone says like, hey, call Alec. He's amazing. By the way, everyone that's stopping in, say hi. Don't just be weird and lurk. I see you. I see the eyeballs. So the only way to build relationships is through consistency. You can say it's through a referral, but we all know in marriage and life and dating, all the consistency is what matters. Think about it in the traditional sense of us going out and going after realtor partners, right? How did you build trust with a realtor partner? Did they give you a precious deal to try and fumble your way through? No, they did not. What you had to do was you had to show up again and again and again at broker preview and open houses and call for appointments and looking and find them at networking meetings again and again and again until what? Until enough consistency had happened where they realized you were somebody who they could trust. Micro agreements where you'd ask them. This was always one of my little hacks, by the way, which is COVID made it weird, but take it for later. One of my little hacks was, hey, are you working this weekend? As kind of like a goodbye or like, oh yeah, you working this weekend? You have houses? And when they say yes, inevitably, because they're successful agents and they had houses, I would say, I am too. Maybe I'll see you this weekend. It's a micro agreement. I am too. I'm working as well. When I show up, I validated that I'm consistent, that I do what I say I'm going to do. We know consistency wins the games, period. I don't care how much charisma or salesmanship you have. If you're not consistent, you will never build long-lasting relationships with anybody of import in the real estate community, and you'll be relegated to the sidelines or to a limited level of success. I think you can still have it being charismatic and salesy and all that stuff. But you can't do that anymore, can you? Like, there's no open houses really anymore in certain communities. I'm in California. There's no traditional like open from 1 to 4 and walk on through and sneeze on each other. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. And so how do you build consistency in a digital space? You know what some people are doing is they're calling their partners every day. Don't do that. That's terrible. That's not consistency. That's not helpful. They don't want to be called every day. So how do you break into, how do you build trust in a world where you can't build trust? How do you build trust in a world where you can't meet face to face? You can't connect one-to-one. You can't let them see your energy and feel your action, and you can't. How do you do it? I'll give you some actual tactical strategies here. Number 1, snail mail. Dead serious. Snail mail. Don't email. How many emails do you get a day? Are you just cooked and done with email? I'm done. Don't email anymore. If you want to send me something in the mail that's thoughtful and personalized, all day long. Yeah, Laura, Zoom calls. This is another interesting way that consistency wins for salespeople, but we'll get into kind of video calls in a minute. But if you want to build consistency with an agent telling me you're working hard, I would go right back to snail mail. It feels like 2008, but man, it feels good. Everyone wants to open a letter. Second thing I would do, it's a no-brainer since you're all here hanging out with this, but it's social media, of course, because if your realtor partners and your customers and the people you want to influence are on social media, then what an incredible opportunity you have to show up every single day in front of them. Now, here's a pro tip. We've talked about this before, but for those of you in the back that aren't paying attention, listen up. Just because you got on social media on Monday and you did a video or you made a post or you posted something from your company doesn't mean you made an impact on that person, the person you're trying to reach. Number 1, you're probably not even connected with them. So go back and make sure you're connected to the people you want to be connected with. But number 2, do you sit and stare at every single piece of social media that you scroll by on a regular basis? Absolutely not. You scroll by it, which means at the minimum, they're getting an impression of you. but maybe not even that. Maybe it's not even the minimum. Maybe they're just scrolling right by, which means consistency in a digital reputation building environment, in a brand building environment, requires repetition all the time. By the way, you want to know the way you can tell the absolute winners from the people that are just kind of gumping it through and just figuring it out as they go? Pull up their calendar. Pull up their calendar. Any of the leaders out there like Laura, it's so funny. If you pull up a loan officer, let me look at your calendar together. That should be terrifying for some loan officers. Like, don't look at my calendar. Because there's nothing there. There's nothing intention built in. Now, here's another, by the way, I'm not just going to pin you down on calendar. I never operate on calendars and time blocking. I don't like time blocking. Especially as a loan officer, I hated time blocking because what if I was time blocking something and a realtor called me with a deal? I'm sorry, Mr. Realtor, I can't take your deal. I'm time blocking. Instead, whatever works for you, whether it's time blocking or anything else. But go to loan officer. So let me see your to-do list for today. What are you going to accomplish today before the end of the day? I want to see it all. And at that point, you can know immediately who has consistent behavior built into their day. Do they have things inside their to-do list or their calendar that drive prospecting activity? If they do not, they don't have this consistency and they will not make it. So back to my point on social media. You need to show up almost every single day there. I know that's overwhelming for some people, but my friends, that's where the people are hanging out. And so if you want to build relationships, impressions, impact, you need to be where they are, showing up with your passion, your energy every single day. I mean, I don't know why this is hard for people to understand. It's not as if you're going to their office every single day to say, hey, I'd like to make sure I had a meeting with you. That's too impractical and you're breaking social norms. Like, don't go every single day and knock on my door for a meeting. But can you show up on social media every single day, put your message out, and use that space to make impact, connection with the people you're trying to influence. And yes, I totally agree with this, Laura. You know, when you look at somebody's calendar, there is working on the business and there's working in the business, right? Two things. And so one is strategy, one is action and tactics. And yes, a great producer, someone who's consistent, is going to consistently focus on their strategy, meaning, is it working? What are my results? Why is nobody liking my videos? And understanding there's a place to grow from if that's your expectation. If that's how you're viewing it, then there's a place to grow from. So on the business and in the business are both crucial things that these people that we have to execute against, but it all comes back to consistency. I'm going to help everybody on this, getting very, very tactical with something that has always helped me, that I always fall back on, that helped me get through my 100 videos in 100 days. When do you start your day? And what do you do when you start? I think, to me, this is such a simplistic conversation, but it's really foundationally important when we talk about consistency. When do you start your day, and what do you start your day doing? Think about that for a second. When do you start your day? What time? When is work starting for you? I'm telling you, some people have this ambiguous start to their day. But think about it. Take a gut check moment. By the way, Justin, thank you, dude. Take a gut check moment and when do you start your day? What time? Is it at 8, 8:15, 7:30, 9:30, 10? Does it vary day to day? If you have that variance in your life, I'm going to challenge you and tell you that you're not being consistent. We're creatures of habit. So how do we build some habits that are helpful? Yeah, so Tammy, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I start the day. And so the important question for people like Tammy is, what does it look like? What are the first things you do to start your day? Here is a hack, a pro tip. No email. Don't do it with email. Email will suck you into non-origination strategies immediately. Trust me. And I don't mean don't scan your email and like if somebody needs a pre-qual, like look at it, like come on. But the second, if you start your day with email and workday, I would argue that you're limiting you're muting yourself, my friends. Start your day with action that drives results, whether that's a time block for filming 5 videos for the week and get them all done, or filming making appointments, setting appointments with agents, or sending out emails, or prepping your next mailer. I'm telling you, Please, for the love of everything that is holy, start your day at a specific time and start it with something that's action-oriented, that drives towards originations, doesn't get you stuck in just you turn around and you go, it's 11:30. By the way, it's okay to have those days. I know you've had those days. I have those days. Everyone has those days. This isn't like no one's perfect here. We're all in the dirt together. But my point is, start it with something productive. It's going to drive your day forward. That will kick off your consistency and make it non-negotiable. It was funny. I used to be able to, when I coach loan officers directly as a branch leader, I would be like, hey, what time are you going to be in the office? That's go time. And so coming into the office became go time, because that was I'm coming in the office. You can do email, you can do coffee, whatever you do before the office. I don't care. What time you come into the office, and it's go time as soon as you get in there. And we're going to do origination focused activities for the first 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is you can handle. And I would constantly push on the people that would be my 10:30 show up LOs. You know who you are. I'm judging. 10:30 LO. I would push on those teammates of mine and say, hey, let's do 10. Let's do 9:30. Let's do 9. And just drive that forward, because you've got such, I love this, but it's also terrifying. All of us, all of you, have the exact same 24 hours every single other human being has. The whole thing of I don't have enough time is the biggest lie, because you have all the time that exists in the world. All of it. You have all of it. Take it. So you're going to get pulled into stuff. This is why I'm a component of working out in the morning at 6 a.m. Because if you don't get it done, you're going to run out of time. It's the worst excuse. So, pardon me. What time do you start your day? And are you driving forward with productive activity? Number 3, back to social media. It's your opportunity to show up every day where the people are, where guess what they're going to see? You working. I'm just going to pause for a second because nobody hears this well the first time. Why am I such a maniac when I coach loan officers that you have to go out to broker previews and open houses and see agents in the wilderness? Why am I such a maniac about that? Because they're working. And when they're working and you're not there, what do they think you're doing? They don't care. They don't even know. Why would they even care? You're not working. You're not there with them, so they don't care. This to me is so foundationally true and insane that I don't understand why people don't get it. So if they're working and you're working, hello? Does anybody understand this? Then immediately, what do they start thinking? Well, this person works as hard as I do. This person's hustling. I see them all the time. You start building trust through consistency. So, Alec, in my city, broker preview doesn't exist anymore. Alec, in my city, showings for houses are all private now. I can't go find these people. Correct. So what are you going to do about it? Where are they? If they're not at open houses anymore, because they don't host those really, if they're not at showings on the weekend, where are they? God, if only I knew. Snail mail and social media. First of all, if the realtors you're prospecting aren't in social media, they probably suck. You don't want to follow those guys. Move on. They're not going to survive. That's where all the humans are. So they're all there. So go there and start to build relationships, start to post daily, multiple times a day. We've covered what to post before, so I'm not going to cover that right now unless somebody has the courage to type in, like, what do I post? And then I'll answer you directly. But for those of you that have watched this before or engaged this before, there are a million things to say. Go hang out where the people are. By the way, I framed this up a little bit with our referral partners. Great, because that is something I think all of us local pros who've been trained on the original handbook know exactly what to do. Go out, meet them, build relationships, set appointments, build trust, get referrals, rinse, repeat, millionaires. Like, this is it, right? That's the whole game. But the same thing is true with your customer base and your past customer base and the people in your city and your friends and family. Guess what consistency does for them? It builds brand recognition. I've told you this before. Please go back and watch my 4-part brand series on the modeling podcast. The whole goal, like your goal in neon lights that should be above your desk and on your sticky notes and on your screensaver, is when your customer sees a commercial for a mortgage company, they think of you. That's your goal. That's your goal. That's your goal. Consistency is how you reach that goal. So here's some ways to hack the system. Okay? Here's some ways to hack the system. If you're using a production, if you're using Facebook or even like what StreamYard, which is this to multi-stream or whatever you're using to get on the internet, you can schedule posts. And in fact, you can schedule your live posts. Now, this will freak some people out because you're scared of going live and you're scared of being on the camera. But guess what? Once you schedule that post, guess what you're going to do? You're going to show up for that post. You're going to show up because you put it out in the internet. You put it out in the world. I'm going to talk on Tuesday about the first-time homebuyer down payment assistance stuff. And now you posted it live and it's going to happen. It's happening Tuesday. And if you don't show up, they're going to know. But if that freaks you out, buddy system. Buddy system. Hell yeah, the old-fashioned buddy system. Whether it's your boss or a sales manager, or even a friend in your office or a friend across the country, commit to something with that person. And trust me, you will not want to let them down. The problem with consistency is we don't hack the system. We don't enlist help. And when we don't do that, we will let ourselves down again and again and again, won't we? Do I have to prove that to anybody? I know in your heart you acknowledge this to be true. We let ourselves down all the time. We set up an objective, we set up a goal, we set up something we want to do, and we don't do it. At least not to the degree we're capable of. Hack the system. Put yourself out there in a position of vulnerability. Schedule your live content. Get somebody who's going to be out there with you. Here's a cool thought. What about if you and somebody, a friend of yours, and maybe even another market, so you don't have that cross-market connection, what if you and that other person were going to do your content together? So you're going to jump on a Zoom together, have your conversation, do your thing, teamwork, and then you're going to post that video together. You're not alone. You don't have to be alone. Don't go alone. So enlist support of your friends in the industry, accountability partners, if you want to call them that, your manager, but whatever it is, I hope you get grounded in the reality that consistency wins games. Now, here's the other thing consistency does, which is like the ultimate hack excitement thing that consistency provides. Consistency is the only way you get better. I could just end the podcast right now. Just end. Consistency is the only way you get better. Listen up. I'm going to scoot to the camera here, like right here. Like you have to hear me on this, okay? I think it's a little blurry. Listen. Companies like Quicken and Zillow, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're intercepting your customer at the top of the sales cycle and the top of the internet. We understand this. It's happening. You can't deny it. And what are they doing when they get your customer? Do you remember when, and I'll pick on Quicken because they're a great competitor. Do you remember when the local realtors and everybody else was like, Quicken, no one accepts a Quicken pre-approval. Nobody does Quicken. That's garbage. Nope, they don't do purchase loans. Do you remember? It wasn't that long ago. And you want me to pull up the market share on your city right now? And we can look together at who the number one purchase lender is in your market. Does that sound like a lot of fun? Why? How? At bats. They're putting the reps in. They're getting a chance. They're getting another chance. They're getting another chance. And sure, in the beginning, maybe everybody laughed at him. Maybe the realtors were like, no. Maybe the customers were like, I'm kind of scared. You're right. I don't know. They're in Michigan. And And guess what? They got better. They're getting better. Are we? I'm telling you, it's like the brightness of the sun in our eyes, and yet we're not seeing it. Consistency is the only way you get better. So if you commit to consistency in social media, meaning you want to show up every day, show your face, hang out, be part of the community, meet your agents, cheer them on, drive engagement, then every single day that you do it, every single video you shoot, every single comment you make, you get better. Shocking. If you're going to use snail mail and you're going to mail people things of value or information or fun or creativity, guess what? You're going to challenge yourself to send funner and better things, more value-added things, because you're going to get better through consistency. I don't want to overcomplicate this. My literal playbook. Okay, here's the real story. This is absolutely factual, 1,000% what happened. I was 23 years old. I knew what a loan was. I had been somebody's assistant for 6 months. Okay, 23 years old. I was an assistant for 6 months, and I was like, I know enough about loans now, because he was a massive producer, so I worked on a lot of files. I'm like, I'm ready to go off the deep end. And he goes, great. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take the top 100 agents from the My MTA report. You're going to put them in your ACT database. You're going to mail them a newsletter once a month. Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, you're going to go out and meet agents. Thursdays and Fridays were broker preview, one in Newport Beach, one in Costa Mesa. Here's the agents you're going to want to go see. You're going to get the hot sheet down at the association. You're going to highlight the names of the agents that are in your top 100, and you're going to visit them. Your goal on Thursdays and Fridays is 8 agents in a 3-hour window. Okay. On Saturdays and Sundays, your goal is 4 to 6 agents. When you're going to grab a flyer from each of the agent's house. You're going to bring it back. You're going to send them a handwritten note card on Monday saying it was nice to meet you, and you're going to make sure they're in your database. My friends, that's it. That was the go do that. 23. Driving around, shoulder pads, glorious hair. I did $85 million my first year originating after 6 months of being a PA, just doing that. And you know what is silly? Did I know every single loan product to the back of my hand? Of course I did not. Of course, how could I? Did I run in and ask people at the broker previews, why aren't you using me? And I'm a great loan officer? No, of course not. I just showed up over and over again. And guess what? Guess what I learned through consistency? I learned there's only 5 ways a realtor says no to you. Did you know that? There's only 5. And then I learned a rebuttal or a response to each of those 5. I learned how to build relationships. I learned to say hi. I learned people's names. They learned my names. And all of a sudden, I built enough trust where the referral started coming in. And then I would get a referral from another agent, and they knew me because I went to their house. It's the same equation, my friends. It's this. I'm going to come at you right now. It's the same equation. It didn't change. It didn't change. Relationship building didn't change. Right now, you get this box. Everyone's on social media. Show up every day. Earn that headspace. You'll get better at it. You'll get more comfortable on video. You won't care anymore. And as you don't care anymore, and as you get better, you attract your tribe. See, it's crazy. In the old story that I just told, I probably had to see someone 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 times before I realized they don't like me. For whatever, I know. I mean, how? I mean, it took that many times before I realized there's just no connection. There's just no connection. But now on social media, if I put the effort in and I surround myself in the digital community that I want to influence, now as I put out content, they naturally self-select away. I don't have to waste my time with people that don't have a connection with me because they slowly mute themselves from me or remove themselves. And don't take that personally. We're not made for everybody. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Neither are you. But here's what I do know. The people that like you, the people that like your style, that like your jab, they're going to get sucked in. They get pulled in with you. They make deep connection with you. And shockingly, through consistency, they learn to like you and trust you. But you got to hack your brain. You got to figure out the system. You got to figure out how to show up every day. You got to figure out how to start your day on time at the beginning of the day with things that drive business. not things that drive busyness that will suck your soul. And again, I have anxiety, okay? It's fine. A lot of us do. I don't know when I got mine. I think my mom gave it to me. I don't know, but I don't like to have notifications. Right now, if you would understand, I have 10 unread emails on my phone right now since I started this thing. I'm having a mini panic attack. It's fine. We all have our issues. But here's the deal. If you're like me in the morning, I got to clear out. I got to zero it out, baby. I can't even start my productivity day until I zero out my stuff. That's fine. Have your cup of coffee, zero out your emails. But then when it's start of the day, when it's 8:30 or 8 or 9 or whatever it is for you that you're going to start, put something in there that means something. Put something in there that's going to drive good energy into the universe. I'll leave you on a pro tip. This has been a fun conversation, by the way. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll leave you on my pro tip. Please hear me on this. And Mikey, you're going to cut this and put it in his own clip, and we're going to punch it in everyone's face. When you put yourself out into the universe, when you declare a goal, when you show up to play on social media specifically, but even back in the glory days of face-to-face when we can play that way, if you show up all the time, I learned this lesson, and it is as true now as it is then. I would go out into the field and I would be like, oh man, that was fruitless today. I didn't get a lead. I didn't get a pre-qual. I just met a bunch of people and I'm going to send them my thank you note, Kevin, and all that stuff, but I didn't get a deal. I was told this truth. The universe has a way of bending around and rewarding hard work. I don't know how else to explain it. It's this scientifically crazy fact that if you go out and work hard, I would go out and hit previews and open houses and I would hustle, and all of a sudden I get deals from random people. And I'd be like, well, those weren't the people I was prospecting, but I'll take the deals because the universe rewards hard work. And if you're willing to show up on social and play that game in huge ways, you might be looking for a certain agent that you're trying to crack, or a certain relationship, or a certain account. And then all of a sudden the business will come in from a place you never expected it every single time. Every single time. Laura knows what I'm talking about. Every single time, because the universe rewards hard work. I don't know why. I didn't make the rules, but I do play by them and I do experience them. And everyone else that's listening right now knows this is true. So hack the system. Set yourself up for success. Start your day with action that drives results, not busy work. Grab a partner, grab a friend, have somebody hold you accountable, have somebody that you're responsible for, because you will let yourself down. I know. So hack the system. I so appreciate you guys. Get out, turn the cameras on every day and say hi to the world. I'll be there cheering you on. I'll see you on the internet.